Sometimes a refreshing, bubbly drink really hits the spot, and I'm going to show you how you can carbonate any sweetened beverage with a ginger bug. Making a ginger bug is actually very simple, it just takes a little bit of time. It's kind of like making a sourdough starter, because the bacteria on the ginger and sugar form a culture. You're going to start by peeling and grating 1 tablespoon of organic fresh ginger. It's important for it to be organic so that the fermentation will work properly, and I had better results with it peeled. You're going to add that to 2 cups of filtered water, preferably reverse osmosis. Add that grated ginger to your water and then add 1 tablespoon of organic sugar. I used brown sugar, but you can use any organic sugar. I have not tried making a ginger bug with honey or maple syrup. Let me know in the comments if you've tried that and if that works. Now comes the part that takes a little bit of patience. You need to feed this every day for about 7 days or until it becomes active. And you feed it by adding the same exact thing: 1 tablespoon of grated, peeled organic ginger and 1 tablespoon of organic sugar. You're going to leave that at room temperature, and over time it will start to become active and bubbly, just like a sourdough starter would. After 7 to 10 days, once it's active and bubbly, you're ready to use it in a drink. My favorite way to use this is in a ginger beer, which I will link my blog post for in the description box below. Today I wanted to make something a little different. I have some wild blackberries growing outside, and I had some fresh pears, so I wanted to make a wild blackberry pear soda. After picking my blackberries, I'm peeling my pear, and I'm going to blend those two and make a puree. You could also make a juice with a juicer. I don't like using my juicer, so I use my Vitamix and then I strain it through a cheesecloth. And this is where you can really get creative and come up with all kinds of different soda flavors, because all you really need to make it a soda is sugar, whether that be sugar from fruit in fruit juices, or you could make an herbal soda by making a tea and then sweetening it. The ginger beer recipe below is more of a tea. Today I'm making kind of a combination because I'm making a ginger tea and then adding this fruit juice as well as a little bit of sugar. The ratio I use when making an herbal tea is about 1 to 8. So if you're making 4 cups of herbal tea, for example, you would add half a cup of sugar. And for 100% fruit juice, don't add any sugar. The amount of sugar you add is pretty flexible. Just know that the more sweet you make it, the more quickly it will bubble. Here I just made a ginger tea and added some sugar, and I'm going to let that brew for a little bit. Then I'm combining my tea with my fresh juice, and I want everything to be very well strained. You can either use a cheesecloth or a fine mesh sieve. A cheesecloth is probably a little bit easier, but you want to reduce the solids that are going to collect on the bottom because they're not very tasty in soda. Now I'm adding these ingredients into a bottle with a stopper, because closing it up is what's going to allow that carbonation to really get bubbly. Then I'm going to add my active ginger bug starter. I'm adding about 1/4 cup of ginger bug starter, and I'm straining it and adding it to the bottle. So how this works is the bacteria and yeasts that were created in your ginger bug starter culture, when you add it to your sweetened beverage, it begins to eat the sugars in that beverage, and that's what makes carbon dioxide and thus your carbonation. Now let that bottle sit at room temperature overnight, and I recommend checking the next day just in case it's very bubbly and opening it up to release some of the pressure. When I opened mine up after just 1 day, it was already almost overflowing with bubbles, and you don't want an explosion. I get the best results letting it ferment at room temperature for 2 or 3 days, then putting in the fridge for about a week to chill nicely and develop more flavor. Subscribe for more natural, nourished, and traditional content.